This video is going to go over the practice, the classwork or homework around midpoint. So over here is the midpoint formula. Notice it's different than what I stopped with on my previous video. It's the average of the 2 points, x2 plus midpoint formula 4 points, x1 comma y1 and second point x2 comma y2. Alright, so we're going to apply that a bunch of times over here. So we notice this is our x1, there's our y1, here's our x2, there's our y2. To figure out the midpoint, we add them together. So that looks like 12 plus a negative 6, comma, negative 7 plus a positive 15. And together, that makes positive 6 and positive 8. That is the midpoint between 12 comma negative 7 and negative 6 comma 15. For this one, again, we set it up. Negative 17 plus negative 1. That's the x-coordinate, and here's the y-coordinate, negative 8 plus 11. We can simplify that to get our final answer of the midpoint being negative 18. Oops. Oh, I forgot both of these should be divided by 2. So I'll fix this one first. Divide by 2, divide by 2, 18 over 2. Negative 8 plus 11 is 3 over 2. So our final answer here is negative 9 comma 1.5. That's our midpoint. Then back here, notice this thing, we have to cut them in half, so 6 over 2 and 8 over 2 gives us a final answer of 3 comma positive 4. That's our midpoint. It's like, wait a second, I realized in the second problem, like, wait, that's not in the middle. Negative 17, middle of negative 17, negative 1 is not negative 18. My bad. For number 3, again, we add together the points, okay, plus negative 3, and then we're going to divide it by 2, negative 7 for the y-coordinate, plus a positive 18, divide that by 2, gives us the midpoint. 11 over 2 and 11 over 2. And we can just stop there. 11 halves is the midpoint of 14 comma negative 7 and negative 3 comma 18. Next problem. One endpoint of the segment is 12, negative 8. The midpoint is 8 over 13. Find the coordinates of the other endpoint. So we can use our formula yet again. It may not be that obvious at first. So we're going to call that other point x comma y. So we know that 12 plus x over 2 and negative 8 plus y over 2 gives us 3 comma 18. So in yellow, the x-coordinate has to equal 3 and the y-coordinate has to equal 18. So we can reason through this. 12x over 2 must equal 3, and negative 8 plus y over 2 must equal 18. We can solve for the respective variables x and y, undo the dividing by multiplying on both sides by 2. 12x equals 6, minus 12 minus 12. X has to equal negative 6, that's part of it. Over here, same thing, multiply by 2, multiply by 2. Negative 8 plus y equals negative 36. Add 8 to both sides. Y equals 44. Oh, that seems so big. Plus 8 plus 8. That definitely doesn't seem right. Times 2 times 2. Yeah, that's our answer. Let me check the answer key. Number 3. Seems a little off. Yeah. Nope, that's right. -6, comma, -4. So 4. Yep, that is the final answer. A classmate tells you, find the coordinates of midpoint, you just find the averages. Is there any truth to it? Explain what your classmate means. Yes. So average is add up the two numbers and divide by 2. And we see that in our formula. Add up your 2x coordinates and divide by 2. Same thing with the y. Add up the y coordinates and divide by 2. So you can see that up here. Yes. Makes sense. You can also reason through it a couple ways. I'll have you check that with whatever you wrote. Find the two midpoints, number 6. Find the two midpoints on the segment AB that divides it into 3 congruent parts. Oh gosh, explain your method. 3 congruent parts. So this one involves a bit more thinking. 0, 0, and 9, 6. You can sketch a little picture over here. I think it's all going to be positive, so it's going to look something like this. There's 0, 0, 9, and 6. Maybe that's right there. 9 and 6. Somewhere amongst this line has to be a point here and a point here. So there's kind of 2 midpoints happening. One goes along this side, for which this purple point, or orange point now, will be the middle. And the next one is going here to here, in which the green point will be the middle. So, I gotta think. Do some more sketching. 1, 2, 3. Wonder if we just divide it by 3, will we get there? 0 plus 9 divided by 3, and 0 plus 6 divided by 3. 9, 3, 3, 3, 2. Yeah, I think that's it. 3, 2. And so, from this point, going down, it's going to be a distance of 2. Going right is the distance of 3. There's our slope triangle idea. So if we go down 2, it becomes 4 for the y-coordinate, over 3 is 6. Explain my method. So I used a graph to sketch it. I used some change in y's and change in x's. The main idea now is, because we have to kind of trisect the segment or cut into 3 parts, it's dividing by 3 instead of by 2. So our 2 points for number 6 are 3, 2 and 6, 4. Describe a way to find points divided into fourths. That means use like this thing from before. Maybe I'll highlight in yellow now, like this 3 from before, change that into a 4. Change into 4. What do you notice about these midpoints? Purple. Drawing the diagonals A, B, C. Okay. So now I'm focusing on these problems. Drawing in some midpoints. What do you notice about them? It should be the intersection of the midpoints. using my straight edge, makeshift straight edge. The diagonals meet at the midpoint. Meet at each other's midpoint. I think it should be the diagonals bisect each other. We can prove that with a bit more math. Find the midpoint of AC and the midpoint. I'm just gonna say that it's that number, it's this number, and it's this number. And we're just gonna scroll down to the answer key for this part. Number 8, where are you? Answer, it is down here. There are the midpoints, and for these midpoints so I'm looking down here, right? Midpoints for figure 1 are this and that. For these figures, the midpoints of the two diagonals are at the same point. Okay, nice. Alright, so that's the last video reviewing the classwork